pray with me. May these words that I speak be grounded in my soul, encouraged by the God presence in me, and may these words that you hear be captured by your soul, enlivened by the God presence in you. Amen. I pray that you may be strengthened in your inner being with power through the Spirit as you are being rooted and grounded in love. This is the prayer of the writer of Ephesians directed to the people of the new Christian communities. The notion of being both rooted and grounded in love resonates deeply with me. I understand being rooted as meaning that love is a part of what it is to be human. That no one is without the capacity to love. It is the part of God that is in each of us. But we need to choose to be open to the love within us, to become fully human. I understand being grounded as meaning living each moment of each day from a place of love. This is how I believe Jesus lived. It is a beautiful and powerful thing when we find ourselves grounded in love as a way of engaging our lives in the world. But it seems to me that too often we think that we aren't capable of loving that much, or we become overwhelmed by the seeming lack of love and the incredible amount of fear in the world around us. We tend towards giving up or thinking that our little bit of love doesn't really make a difference to the big picture. I believe, however, that it is our engagement from a place of love in the small, everyday things, in the everyday moments, that can become the catalyst for great love in the world. Just a touch of love can lead to life-changing transformation. This is, it seems to me, what is at the heart of the movie called Sister Act that starred Whoopi Goldberg. I'm wondering how many of you saw that movie? Quite a few. Quite a while ago, probably. In this movie, Whoopi is a Las Vegas entertainer who goes into hiding from the mob. And she goes into hiding by joining a group of religious sisters that are living in a failing downtown church. In this scene, which we're about to see, she goes against the wishes of the Mother Superior by encouraging the sisters to change the way they engage the neighborhood, to pull down the fences and risk a little love. As you watch this clip, notice the difference in interaction between the Mother Superior and the other sisters. And I invite you to pay really close attention to the variety of ways the community is loved. Let's watch this clip. Unlike us, the sisters were very visible in their community because of their clothing, their habits. Like us, they can choose to barricade themselves behind their church walls and watch the world piously from the seeming safety and certainty of their institution, or they can choose to step into the wider community and engage the other, living from a place of active love while having a whole lot of fun at the same time. It seems to me that making the church the open center of the community becomes the experience of love, the very experience of being Christ in the world. Peter Rollins, in his book, The Idolatry of God, claims that Jesus is God incarnate because he more fully expresses what it is to be human than most of us do. For Rollins, and I agree, Jesus becomes God incarnate not because he is more divine and less human than us, but rather because he chose to live more completely out of his rootedness and groundedness in love, making him a deeper expression of what it means to be human in the world. Rollins says, Jesus is presented to us as being one with the source of all that is. Here we glimpse the idea that God is not that which lies ahead of us as a distant being we must attempt to reconcile with, but must be approached. God must be approached as the depth or ground that we come into contact with once we are freed from the certainty of beliefs that hold us captive. We must approach God as the reality we encounter indirectly through a deep and committed love of the world itself. The early church communities, the community that the writer of Ephesians was writing to, were not being called to lock themselves away from the world. Rather, they were being called to open to love and to ground their faith in a love of the world. This is how Jesus lived, and so how very, very sad it is that within only a few generations, the church had lost all sense of love as the center of faith. Today, we face the same challenge. The church, in a variety of ways, has become cloistered away from the world. Church is the thing we do on Sunday mornings and the thing that we don't really talk about very much the rest of the week. We're not out there in our habits, metaphorically speaking. Maggie Nancaro, a minister and artist in the United Methodist Church in the States, offered these words in a blog a couple of weeks ago, which really resonated with me. And she said this: "The church is not dying. The church is failing. There's a difference." She goes on to say, "I have never noticed or perceived that people are not interested in God anymore. People are incredibly hungry for God. It isn't that people don't want to experience God. It is that the church of the 1950s is failing to be a place where that happens." As the meeting of the General Council of the United Church fast approaches, a meeting that I have the privilege and the great responsibility to be part of, it becomes imperative for us to ask the most important question: why are we here? I believe that recognizing the church is failing rather than dying is critically important as we imagine our future. Perhaps we need to take down our barricades, our fences, and seriously step into our wider community and invite others into ours with their needs in mind instead of ours. Not to fill our seats or grow our finances or teach them what they need to believe, but rather to engage each other face to face, soul to soul, rooted and grounded in just a touch of love. Amen.